Be me 27, senior UX designer for a fintech startup living in a minimalist loft that costs 60% of my paycheck, spend 10 hours a day moving pixels 3 mm to the left. Convince myself this is high-level cognitive labor. Grew up watching Discovery Channel, always hated how survival experts make everything look like a struggle. Bear Grylls drinking pee, unnecessary drama, primitive technology guy hitting mud with a stick. Inefficient, it's 2024.
We have material science. We have logistics. We have carbon fiber. Get the urge to prove this. Watching Alone on Netflix while eating Uber Eats pad thai guy. Taps out because he lost his fire starter. I laugh out loud, pathetic. It's just resource management. Decide to take a sabbatical week. Tell my boss I need to reconnect with analog systems to optimize my digital workflow. He nods, terrified of an HR lawsuit for burnout. Plan is simple. Hike into the Cascades. Build a superior shelter. Live off the land.
Return a hero, open Amazon, ignore traditional gear. That stuff is for LARPers. Order a tactical tomahawk with holes cut in the blade for aerodynamics. 5,000 feet of paracord, a solar-powered heated vest, a tent? No. Tents are for tourists. I'm building a modular bushcraft habitat. Buy a box of 500 industrial-grade zip ties. Why learn knots when plastic exists?
Logic is sound. Spend $2,000 on ultralight gear that I've never tested. Pack weighs 65 pounds because I packed a cast iron skillet and a drone Tuesday morning. Drive my leased Audi Q5 to the trailhead. Gravel road is rough. Audi makes a clunking sound. Ignore it. German engineering handles anything. Park next to a rusted-out 1990 Ford 150 bumper sticker says trees don't move for you. Whatever, step out. Air is crisp. Smells like pine and challenge. Lace up my $400 boots. They feel stiff. Break-in periods are a myth perpetuated by big leather. Start hiking. Trail map says moderate difficulty. 6 miles to ridge. I'll do it in 2 hours. Set stopwatch on my Garmin Fenix 7. Let's optimize this verticality. 20 minutes in lungs, burning legs. Feel like jelly. Why is the ground so uneven? Who designed this trail? Bad UX. Need switchbacks. Pass an old guy coming down. He's wearing flannel, jeans, and carrying a wooden walking stick. Looks like he stepped out of a Steinbeck novel. He stops. Looks at my pack. Then my shiny tomahawk. Heading up to the spine, he asks. Voice sounds like gravel in a blender, going off-grid for a structural assessment project, I say. Tapping my chest, he squints. Storm rolling in tonight. Heavy wet stuff. Careful with those boots. I smirk. These are Gore-Tex Pro, rated for Everest Base Camp. He chuckles. Just a dry, wheezing sound. Gore-Tex don't stop gravity, son. Walks away, dismiss him immediately. Probably just jealous of my gear. Boomers hate seeing the younger generation innovate. 2 hours later, only went 2 miles. Blister on my left heel feels like a coin-sized sun. Blister on right pinky toe is pulsing in Morse code. Stop to hydrate. Water bladder tube is kinked. Have to take off the 65 pounds pack to fix it. Putting it back on as a wrestling match with a bear made of nylon finally reached the clearing I scouted on Google Earth in reality. It's a mosquito-infested swamp on a slope. Whatever. I'll terraform it. Drop the pack. Time to build. Pull out the tactical tomahawk. Walk up to a pine tree about 6 inches thick. Timber, I whisper. Ironically, swing. The aerodynamic blade bounces off the bark. Vibration travels up my arm, rattles my teeth. Try again. Harder. Chop goes 1 inch deep. This is going to take a while. An hour later, tree falls directly onto my drone case. Hear the crunch of plastic and glass. $800 gone. Acceptable casualty of industry. I mutter. Hands are raw. Gloves are too thick to work the zippers on my pants. Take gloves off. Need more wood. Dragging the tree is impossible. It's heavy. Wet. Sticky. Why didn't anyone mention sap is basically super glue? Decide to pivot strategy. Lean-to is archaic. I will build a tension-based poly structure. Find 3 saplings standing close together. Don't cut them. Use them as pillars. Smart. Working with nature, not against it. Unpack the blue tarp. Heavy duty. Wrap it around the trees. Secure with zip ties. Zip. 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 Sound of efficiency. No knots. No friction hitches. Just plastic biting plastic. It looks abstract, like a blue garbage bag exploded. But it's a roof. Floor is wet mud. Lay down my emergency space blanket. Silver side up to reflect my own brilliance. Sun starts setting. Temperature drops from brisk to personally offensive. Need fire, not for warmth, obviously. I have the heated vest for the aesthetic. And to cook my Wagyu beef jerky. Gather sticks. They are damp. Wet wood is a myth. I tell myself. Heat evaporates moisture. Pile them up in a geometric pyramid for maximum airflow. Pull out my jet lighter. Flame is blue. Hot, technological. Hold it to a stick. Stick glows, smokes, then goes black the second I move the flame. Try again and again. Lighter gets hot in my hand. Gas runs out. Are you kidding me?
Backup plan. Ferro rod, never used one, but I've seen the tutorials. Scrape the metal stick, spark shower onto the wet leaves. Nothing happens. Scrape harder, knuckle hits the tactical tomahawk blade, cut my hand. Blood drips onto the wet leaves. Sacrifice to the algorithm. I hiss, it's getting dark now. Pitch black, real darkness.
Not city dark. Can't see my hand in front of my face. Turn on headlamp. 1,000 lumens, forest lights up like a horror movie set. Shadows dance behind trees. Was that a bear? Probably a deer or a cougar or a Sasquatch. Stomach growls. Eat cold beef jerky in the dark. Crawl into my tension-based poly structure. Turn on heated vest. LED glows red. Warm spreads sea. I whisper to the trees. Technology wins. Phone has no signal, can't upload the day one conquest story to Instagram. This is the hardest part.
The silence lie down on the space blanket ground is lumpy. A root is digging into my kidney. Close eyes. 20 minutes later, drip, 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 eyes snap open. It's raining, not a mist.
A deluge, the Pacific Northwest, has decided to wash me away. My roof is catching water, not shedding it. Catching at the zip ties held the tarp too tight, created a giant blue bowl above my head. Water pools. Heavy the saplings grown, structural integrity compromising. I analyze, poke the tarp to drain it. Bad idea. 5 gallons of freezing water dumped directly onto my chest. Gasp so hard I inhale pine needles. Vest short circuit zaps me in the nipples. System failure. I scream, scramble out of the shelter. Mud everywhere. It's freezing.
Bone deep cold, shivering violently. Hypothermia is a mental state. I chatter, mind over matter. Body disagrees. Retrieve the cast iron skillet from the mud. Hold it over my head like an umbrella. Standing in the rain, holding a frying pan, wearing a dead electric vest. This is suboptimal. Hear a noise. Crunch. Crunch. Crunch footsteps, not an animal. Rhythmic, a light beam cuts through the rain. Blinds me. You look like a drowned rat, son. It's the old man from the trail. He's wearing a yellow rubber poncho, holding a lantern. An actual kerosene lantern beside him is a dog that looks like a wolf mixed with a sofa. My structural retention system failed. I stutter. Your trash bag fell down. He translates. He doesn't offer a hand, just turns around. Cabin's a half-mile up. Kettle's on. Or you can stay here and fertilize the ferns. My pride screams, ew! My frozen nipple screams, go! I follow him, leave the 65 pounds pack, leave the drone carcass, leave the tactical tomahawk walk. In silence, he moves through the woods like a ghost. Doesn't slip. Doesn't stumble. I fall 3 times faceplant into a fern. Ferns are slippery. I explain to the mud. Arrive at his cabin. It's rough-hewn logs. Smoke curling from a stone chimney, not zip-tied. Not modular, just heavy and real. Inside is warm, smells like wood smoke and wet dog. He points to a chair by the fire. Sit. Strip? Dry. I peel off the $400 wet layer. Shivering stops eventually. He hands me a mud tea. I ask, bone broth and whiskey? He says, drink it. It tastes like life itself. So he sits opposite me, whittling a stick with a pocket knife. What was the plan there? Elon Musk? I straighten up, try to regain dignity. I was testing a rapid deployment shelter prototype. The material tolerance was insufficient for the precipitation load. He stops whittling, looks at me over his glasses. You tied a tarp to 3 skinny trees with zip ties and tried to light wet pine with a blowtorch. Silence. The wood was defective. I mumble. He laughs, a deep, belly laugh that shakes the room. Wood ain't defective, boy. You just don't speak the language. I know the theory, I argue. I've watched hundreds of hours of archival footage. YouTube ain't the woods. He tosses a log on the fire, it catches instantly. Fire needs to breathe. Shelter needs to shed. You fight nature, you lose, you work with her, maybe she lets you sleep. I stare at the fire. My vest had solar panels. I say weakly, my vest is wool, he replies. Sheep figured it out 1,000,000 years ago. Next morning, storm cleared, sun is shining. Birds singing, mocking me. I put on my dry, stiff clothes. I should go retrieve my equipment. I say trash. He corrects. You're gonna clean up your trash. We hike back down. My site looks like a crime scene, tarp in the mud. Zip ties everywhere. Drone shattered. It looks pathetic. I feel a weird sensation in my chest. Shame. No, must be acid reflux from the whiskey pack. Everything up pack feels heavier today. You need help carrying that? Old man asks. I have optimal load distribution. I lie, straps cut into my shoulders, walk back to the trailhead. My Audi is there. Safe. Shiny a beacon of civilization. Throw the gear in the trunk. Turn to the old man. Want to say something profound? Want to impart some wisdom from the digital age, you know? I say.
You could monetize that cabin on Airbnb, high-value asset. He spits on the ground, drives safe tourist. He turns and walks back into the green dog, doesn't even look at me. Get him car turn on heated seats, max setting drive away, hand shaking on the steering wheel past a Starbucks. 20 miles out, order a venti oat milk latte, sip it. Tastes like paper and sugar. Open Instagram, post a picture of the trees I took from the car window. Caption: nature is a beast you have to tame. Spent 48 hours deep in the bush. Tested my limits. The elements are unforgiving, but the human spirit is stronger. #survival #. Bushcraft. #alpha # disconnect reconnect. First comment from a coworker? OMD brave. Did you build a fire? I reply. Of course. Essential skill. Look at my hand. The cut from the ferro rod is infected. It throbs, battle scar. I whisper back at the office on Monday, stand at my standing desk. Coworkers gather round. How was it, Logan? I lean back, crossing my arms over my Patagonia fleece. Intense, I say, gazing at the fluorescent lights. You realize how soft society has made us. Out there, it's just you and physics. No margin for error. They nod, impressed. Did you run into any trouble? Think about the rain. The zip ties. The old man saving my life had a run-in with a bear. I lie effortlessly, false charged me. I stood my ground. Used a noise deterrent technique I developed. Wow. Yeah. You just have to assert dominance. Sit down. Open Jira ticket. Move submit button 4 pixels to the right. My hand hurts. Google how to treat rust infection. Switch tab to Amazon, search traditional axe hand forged. Maybe the problem was the carbon fiber. Maybe I need hickory, add to cart next time. I think next time I'll show that old guy. Next time I'll optimize the fire. Click buy now. The cycle continues. I am a builder. I am a survivor. I am an idiot. But at least I have Prime shipping. 3 months later, still thinking about the cabin. The shame hasn't washed off. It lingers like the smell of that wet wool. Decide to pivot. Bushcraft is too uncontrolled. I tell myself. Too many variables. New obsession, urban exploration and tactical readiness, prep tiering. If I can't conquer the woods, I will conquer the apocalypse. The logic is sound. Sell the unused axe on eBay. Use funds to buy a Geiger counter and a gas mask from a surplus store. Be me, 27. Urban warlord in training. Read a forum post about an abandoned Soviet-era bunker complex in Nebraska? Whatever. Close enough, or maybe just the storm drains under the city. Subterranean infrastructure mapping. Buy wading boots. Chest high, buy a crowbar. Titanium, tell friends I'm getting into speleology Saturday night, dressed like a Ninja Turtle standing over a manhole cover behind a Chipotle. This is the frontier. I whisper, pry it open, smell hits me. Not pine and rain, sewage and regret. Shine 1000 lumen flashlight down, see a pair of glowing eyes. Raccoon. Rat? Mutant? Hello. I call out, asserting dominance. Get the hell out of my bedroom. Voice echoes up, just a homeless guy. Drop the manhole cover, clang, run back to the Audi, panting, heart racing. Close call. I tell the rearview mirror, hostile encounters in the Undercity. Drive home, order pizza, watch Doomsday Preppers. Laugh at the guy storing water in milk jugs. Amateurs. I scoff. Polycarbonate cisterns are the only viable long-term solution. Open Amazon, search 1,000-gallon water tank. Add to cart, look around my 600 square feet loft. Number room. I need a bigger base of operations. Look up real estate in the mountains. Find a plot of land. Undeveloped. No road access. Perfect, I'll build a road. I think how hard can civil engineering be? It's just moving dirt. I have a shovel. I have willpower. I have absolutely learned nothing. Fast forward 6 months, be me, 28 now, bought the land sight unseen. It was cheap for a reason. It's at a 45-degree angle, literal cliff face. Vertical construction is the future. I rationalize cantilevered architecture. Hire a contractor to consult. He shows up in a Toyota to cliff. Looks at me, it's here. Yes, I say, holding a rolled-up blueprint I drew on an iPad. I've calculated the soil's shear strength based on Wikipedia. He spits. Why do all these guys spit? So, this is granite. So, stable foundation. You need dynamite. I can get a permit. He laughs. You can't buy dynamite on Amazon. I check my phone, he's right, fine. Jack him for a quarter mile? I'll do it myself over weekends. Sweat equity. He gets in his truck. Call me when you give up. I know a guy who buys gravel. Leaves. I stand on my vertical property holding a rental jackhammer. It weighs 90 pounds. I weigh 160 pounds. Soaking wet, plug it into a gas generator. Pull the cord, generator roars. Birds flee, nature holds its breath. Time to carve my legacy. Squeeze the trigger. Jackhammer slams into the rock violently. It bounces, doesn't chip the rock, just vibrates my entire skeletal system. Teeth chatter, vision blurs, lose grip, jackhammer dances away from me.
Hopping down the hill like a suicidal robot, watch it tumble 200 feet, smash into a tree. Silence, gravity, I'd mutter, my old enemy. Climb down to retrieve it, slip on pine needles, slide 50 feet on my butt, rip my $200 technical pants, land next to the jackhammer. It's smoking, look up at my property, it looms over me indifferent. Massive, okay, I say aloud, phase 1 complete. Terrain analysis confirmed. Hard. Leave the jackhammer, it belongs to the mountain now, hike back to car, call the rental place. Yeah, the unit had a mechanical failure. I'm not paying for that.
They charge my card anyway, $800 cost of doing business. Drive home, hands are vibrating still, can't hold a fork, eat pizza face down like a dog, girlfriend comes over. What happened to you? Land development. I grunt, moving mountains. She looks at my torn pants. Did you fall? Controlled descent? She sighs. Why don't you just hire someone? Because, I snap, they don't share the vision. They want to do it the standard way.
The standard way works, Logan. The standard way is stagnation, I yell, vibrating. She leaves. She doesn't get the mindset. I tell the empty room, she's an NPC. Go to bed, dream of rocks laughing at me, dream of the old man in the cabin, he's whittling a jackhammer out of wood, and it works. Wake up in a cold sweat Monday morning, back at work, boss calls me in, Logan. The submit button is now 400 pixels to the right. It's off the screen. It's disruptive design. I explain it forces the user to engage with the negative space. Boss rubs his temples, just put it back. Fine. Sit at desk, feel empty, the digital world is fake. The physical world is hard, need a middle ground. Something physical but controllable, something biological. Gardening, I whisper, hydroponics. Vertical farming in the apartment. Maximum yield. LED spectrum optimization. I can grow better tomatoes than a farmer. Farmers rely on the sun. The sun is inconsistent. I will build a sun. Open Amazon, search full spectrum grow lights industrial, search nutrients slurry pump. Add to cart, the cycle resets. I will drown my apartment in algae. I will short circuit the building. But for a brief moment when the lights turn on and the pumps hum, I will be a god. Check bank account balance. Low, check spirit balance. Lower, click buy now. See delivery date. Tomorrow. Life is good.